Hello, my name is Adrian Mendez. I'm a student at University High School. Antonio Gutierrez, the Secretary General of the United Nations, said, "People are not born to hate. Intolerance is learned and so can be prevented and unlearned."
That's right.
From a young age, I was taught to treat people the same. Equality was always a no-brainer. Black, Asian, Hispanic, white, rich, poor, able-bodied, disabled, gay, straight, trans, non-binary, etc. They were all human. They're all deserving of the same opportunities. So how could someone in my same community think so differently than I do? When I was 13, I came out as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, and I was so lucky that I had such supportive parents and friends who accepted me and loved me no matter what my sexual orientation was. People who claim to be my friends say the F slur because they don't understand the history behind it. Did you know that years ago gay people were rolled into rugs and burned to death and were called the slur because it was another term for a cigarette? They were murdered and looked like a cigarette. It's not some silly word that you could just toss around as a joke. I was born half Caucasian and half Mexican. I've gone to predominantly white schools my whole life. When I was younger, I never saw myself as different. I was treated the same way as all my white peers, and they treated me just like everyone else. Up until about 6th grade, I didn't think my ethnicity made me stand out in any way, until one boy in my class, who I had known for 8 years at that point, took a basket of school supplies from the middle of our table and put it in between us while saying we need to build a wall.
Rude.
I was confused and upset, but I laughed it off. A teacher watched this incident occur. In 2018, my little brothers were told to go back to Mexico by a classmate. One of their friends told a teacher, and the teacher reached out to administration, but administration had my brother come in and asked if it was just a joke. When the other student said that, my parents ended up getting involved, and I remember my dad telling me and my brothers that he felt bad because if he weren't our father, we wouldn't have to deal with these issues. I see families that look like mine thrown into cages. And I'm in no way saying my experiences are the same as those of a black person, but it shows that people in our very own town are allowing, tolerating, and by staying silent, condoning these actions. Going back to my question before, how can someone in my community think so differently than I do? It's all because of experience and exposure. Our generation has sat back and tolerated so much injustice. We have watched our country reach its highs and lows, and through the past 25 years, our generation has grown up hearing about the civil rights movement, about the Holocaust, about countries that have fallen due to the power of their leaders. But who makes up those countries? The people. We are the people. It is our job now to use our voices, our power, to spread these experiences. It is our job to educate our classrooms and our communities. We are the future, and we are going to lead this movement of change as our own. It is our turn. We need to sign petitions. We need to donate. We need to reach out to our representatives. We need to get cops fired for taking the lives of innocent black people. To stay silent. Our voices will be heard. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. It is our responsibility to go out and vote.
That's right.
And abolish ICE.
I should have printed this out beforehand.
My name is Amara Shepard, and I just graduated from NormalWest High School this year. Some of my best memories have taken place inside this building right behind me. School has been a refuge for me, as it has been for many. It's been an escape from my family. It's been a place where I can be surrounded by people my same age. It's been a place where I can be celebrated for my strength. But school can also be a breeding ground for hatred, exclusion, and discrimination. For me, school has been a positive experience, but to the girls at my school whose counselors didn't believe their stories of sexual harassment, to my LGBTQ brothers and sisters who don't feel comfortable in the dressing rooms because of the way other students treat them, to the black community at West who was confronted with slurs and blackface from their peers, and to far too many more, school is no longer the environment for learning, growth, and development that it is supposed to be. When kids feel like they're being threatened in school rather than thriving, we have a huge problem. Because the school staff and the educational experience as a whole have the power to shape ideas, behavior, and the entire course of just one student's life. When a school as a community and as an authority is complicit in the face of discrimination, we have failed to nip hatred in its bud. We have failed to help easily influence students unlearn the prejudice they may have been taught, and therefore allowed more discrimination to spread its roots further into our community, only growing the divide which currently separates us. I must take a moment to commend Unified staff for acting so quickly to bring justice to the most recent act of racism to cross our district. However, as we learn from this situation, sometimes a school's efforts can only reach so far. So what can we as a community do to make the school environment what it is supposed to be? A safe place for a child to grow personally and academically. First off, we can keep pushing to defund the police so that finances can be reallocated to schools. When we defund the police, finances can be reallocated to schools and their efforts towards the improvement of the educational experience. Secondly, we can continue to support students in our community in the three following ways. For example, if justice was not brought to a student who experienced discrimination, you can call that school and let them know what they should do about it. Put pressure on them to take the action that they should have in order to prevent discrimination from finding a home in our community. Next, if there are opportunities